Will Cathy and Billy face the consequences of their actions? How will Alex and Debbie's lives change now that the truth is out?
Cathy's heart fell when she heard what the police captain said. Her whole body trembled a little. Deep down, she knew that Billy was guilty. $350,000 is a huge sum of money, she thought. If I have to pay it back, my life is ruined. Hearing Billy still loudly protesting his innocence, Cathy, who had recovered a little from the shock, also started shouting at the top of her lungs. "It's not us! You guys are mistaken!" The police captain shook her head in wonder. "Take them away," he ordered. The police officers escorted Cathy and Billy away. Cathy was humiliated. She had never been that embarrassed in her life. In the past, she had always known that she was better than Alex and had enjoyed flaunting that in front of him. She felt sure that leaving Alex had been the wisest choice. But now, Cathy had completely forgotten that he even existed. Cathy and Billy were roughly pushed out of the hall by the police officers. Alex and Debbie looked at each other and felt relieved. It had been more than a month since the robbery, and their names had finally been cleared. Towards the end of the banquet, Alex quietly patted Graham's shoulder, expressing his gratitude for the meal, for his loyalty, and all his hard work for the family. Graham was overwhelmed by his words. Before the banquet ended, Alex dragged Debbie out of the hotel. They called a taxi and headed back to Preston University. In the car, Alex called Ken Stokes. Now that Debbie knew his real identity, there was no need for him to keep anything hidden. "Mr. Stokes, thank you so much for your gift," Alex said with a smile. He didn't believe that it could be a coincidence that Billy had been arrested on the very day that he and Debbie had returned to New York. "Alex, you're too kind," Ken said respectfully. On the day Alex was sent to Harmony Island, Ken had contacted a friend in security, and within days, they had found concrete evidence of Billy's guilt. They delayed giving the evidence to the police because he wanted Alex to witness Billy taken away with his own eyes. "I found out from security that they had already destroyed the Azure Dragon Society. I've also managed to get Miss Debbie reinstated at the university, so that when the two of you return, you can both continue your studies." "You've done a wonderful job, Ken." Alex was very satisfied. Ken had been so generous in his actions. After getting out of the car at the south gate of the school, Debbie wanted to go and get some food at the street food market. Neither of them had eaten much at the banquet. The food market was just opposite the south gate, and it didn't take them long to get there. Indian and Thai food, Chinese pancakes, Mexican enchiladas, burgers, hot dogs, every imaginable type of food was available. Most of the vendors were from peasant families and were not well off. Their food stalls didn't earn much, but they were all they had to live on. "Let's go and get a hot dog," Alex said as they walked toward a hot dog stall. All the other stalls were crowded with customers except this one. The food at this one probably wasn't great, but Alex and Debbie were both kinds. They knew these people had hard lives, and they wanted to support them. "Hot dogs for both of you? What toppings would you like? Ketchup, pickles?" the vendor asked as they approached. They were her first customers of the day. "One with ketchup and one with pickles, please," Alex said to the vendor while Debbie took a step back. Suddenly, Debbie cried out. "It's her!" Her eyes were fearful. She hadn't seen the vendor properly at first. Now that they were closer, she could see that it was Madison Robbins. Alex pulled Debbie to him and comforted her in a gentle voice. The last time they had met, Madison had tried to drown Debbie in Ramsey Lake. Madison quickly walked out from behind the trailer and stood in front of Debbie. She looked at her pleadingly and said, "I'm sorry, Debbie. I was wrong to treat you so badly. Please forgive me." Alex had threatened to make sure that her family disowned her. Madison no longer had any financial resources, but she still needed to go to school. Madison was now very worried. She knew Alex had the power to destroy her uncle's business. How could she live with herself if this happened? Alex hugged Debbie and whispered into her ear, "You can't get over it, can you? You're still really scared of her. All right, I know what to do. He took out his cell phone and was about to call Ken Stokes. After living on the island for a while, Alex had gradually regained his confidence and his wealth and had started to act like any other rich student. Madison's heart tightened. Alex is going to destroy me this time. Even if I beg for forgiveness, Alex won't let this go. Debbie suddenly grabbed Alex's hand and shook her head. No, it's over. Debbie felt that she had been punished enough. All right, Alex agreed and put away his phone. Thank you, you've been so kind. I will think of a way to repay you. Madison was so happy that she was crying as she bowed her head. She was genuinely grateful and had no plans to take revenge on Debbie and Alex. She wanted them to have the food for free, but Alex still paid her $5. Holding the money in her hand, Madison watched them leave. She was stunned. Tears flowed from her eyes. How had she been reduced to this? Alex and Debbie returned to the school where they attended a few classes. Afterwards, they bought some groceries and went to Debbie's villa. Meanwhile, Cathy and Billy were leaving the police station. Billy's father had agreed to bail him out, and the school had agreed to the bail terms. As long as Billy could return the money within a year, the school would not hold him accountable. You think you're so smart? Think of a way to earn that money. This is your problem, and you have to get yourself out of it. Billy's father drove away after speaking those harsh words to him. Dad! Dad! Billy covered his cheeks and yelled after his father. Cathy was so scared that she started crying. $350,000. How were they ever going to pay it back? Stop crying. Billy looked at Cathy in annoyance. Okay, I've stopped. But it's late, already past 10. Shall we find a hotel to stay in? Cathy said as she wiped her tears. I only have a few dollars right now, and you still want to stay in a hotel? Cathy had no money herself. She usually spent Billy's money. I was wrong, all right. Let's take a taxi back to school. Cathy knew that she had to tread carefully with Billy right now. Take a taxi? Do you know how much it costs to take a taxi back to school from here? It's over $30. Are you going to pay for it? Billy stared at Cathy with a mean expression. Cathy's lips trembled as she glared at him. She felt hurt by the way he was speaking to her, and when she looked at him now, he looked ugly to her. Come on, we'll ride bicycles back to the school. Billy grabbed Cathy's wrist and yanked her toward the row of rental bikes on the side of the road. Cathy suddenly dropped Billy's hand and ran away from him. She waved to a taxi, jumped in, and headed toward the school. The next day, Debbie went to school early in the morning. She had missed a lot of classes this month, so had a lot of work to catch up on. Alex got out of bed at 8 a.m. and took a leisurely walk to the school cafeteria. While eating breakfast, Alex looked at his phone. Billy's photo was displayed on the front page of the school's official website. This story was all about the $350,000 that he had stolen. Alex saw Billy walking into the cafeteria. He walked toward a table where Cathy was slowly eating a bowl of oatmeal. Even though Billy now owes this huge sum of money, it seems that Cathy is staying by his side and supporting him. She hasn't abandoned him. She must love Billy, and people should respect her for that, Alex thought to himself. Billy had walked over to Cathy's table and said, How dare you run away from me yesterday? You're unbelievable. Do you know how I got back? I had to ride a bike. My legs are knackered. Cathy looked at the furious Billy with a small smile. She said quietly, Let's break up.
Will Cathy and Billy's relationship survive after their public argument? How will Alex react to Billy's behavior towards Cathy? What's next for Alex and Debbie now that they've cleared their names? Will Cathy be able to get out of the situation with Billy? Or will she be pulled back in? How will Alex react to Cathy's attempts to win him back?
Billy was taken aback for a second, then sneered. You callous. You're so damn shallow. You used to beg to be with me when I had money, but now I'm in trouble, you want to leave me? Cathy snorted but didn't say anything. That was exactly what she was going to do. When they had first left the police station yesterday, she had planned to stay with Billy for a while, just because she felt sorry for him. But then when Billy ran out of money, she had had enough. "I've already told you, we're over." Cathy stood up and tried to leave, but Billy grabbed her hand, hurting her. "I should have known from the beginning what you're really like. You're not nearly as special as you think you are. I'm sick of you." Billy looked Cathy up and down and continued, "You can leave if you want, as long as you give me back all the money that I spent on you." "Billy, are you even a man? You want to ask a girl like me for money? Don't you have any shame?" When Cathy heard him ask her for money, she was horrified. "I was your girlfriend for so many months. You should be paying me money for all the time I've spent with you, not asking me for money. Have you got no pride?" "I spent hundreds of thousands on you. Do you really think you are worth it?" Billy was not thinking straight. "First, I have to find $350,000 to pay back, and now Cathy says she's leaving me. Okay, since you're begging, I'll let you off some of the money. If you pay me $350,000, we'll be even." "Psycho," Cathy said as she stared at Billy in disbelief. "You're not getting a cent from me. It's you who has to pay back the money. You're the one the police are after." "You bloody... trying to get one over on me?" Billy said as he looked at Cathy. Her face had 5 finger marks on it, and her hair was messy. He continued, "You know, I know some dangerous people. If you don't get my money from me within a week, you had better watch your back." Billy wouldn't stop talking. "If you can't pay me back, you're in big trouble. Even if I have to go to jail, I'll get even for this," he whispered into Cathy's ear. His sinister sneer made her shiver. "Now piss off." Billy gave Cathy a hard shove. Cathy knew a little about Billy's past. She knew that with his connections and determination, he would get his revenge if she didn't give him the money he wanted. But where was she going to find $350,000? Cathy walked past Alex in a daze. Her mind was filled with thoughts about the $350,000, and she didn't even notice him there. Alex sighed. He felt a little sorry for Cathy. When she had first fallen in love with Billy, he had worried that it would end badly, but he had never imagined it would be as bad as this. It's all Cathy's fault. She's always been so greedy. He shook his head and continued eating. Cathy walked out of the cafeteria looking dejected. All her usual energy had gone. The huge amount of $350,000 pressed down on her so heavily that she could barely breathe. Cathy sat down on the curb outside. She didn't care if her pants were dirty and other students were laughing at her. She hugged her knees and let the tears flow from her eyes. Hating herself, she thought, "Why did I have to aggravate Billy when I knew how angry he already was? And now what have I achieved? Not only am I not going to marry a rich man, but I have to find this huge sum of money to give him." Her mind turned naturally to Alex. When I was with Alex, he always put me first, without any ulterior motives. Even though I humiliated Alex when I left him, he never tried to get his own back on me as Billy did. Thinking about the two men, she realized how much better Alex was than Billy. If Alex is rich after all, maybe I should try to win him back. Maybe he could still care about me. Cathy couldn't help but wonder. It's been proven that it was Billy who stole the $350,000, which means that the money that Alex donated was his, which proves that Alex is rich after all. And yesterday at Graham's banquet, Alex won the diamond necklace. He is rich. If Alex was willing to help Cathy, then all her problems would be solved. Thinking of this, Cathy became excited. She felt a ray of hope. The key question now was, would Alex help her? When we were together, he gave me everything I wanted. Although I left him, he used to love me. Debbie, that peasant, has been with Alex for quite a while now, but he probably only got together with her because he was lonely and couldn't have me. I outclass her in looks, clothes, and education. If I beckon him, I'm sure Alex will come. Cathy felt much better as she thought of this. She stood up from the curb and looked around to see a few boys watching her. Hey, gorgeous, don't be sad. Billy is a... Let's go, we'll buy you a drink. The boys had seen her arguing with Billy in the cafeteria and tried to cheer her up, Don't think I don't know that you're only after one thing, Cathy sneered at them. The sadness from earlier was long gone. Why don't you piss off? She snorted coldly and walked toward her dorm. She needed peace to think of a plan to win Alex back. When he had finished eating, Alex went back to his dorm to catch up with Ben and the others. They were thrilled to see him and asked him about everything that had happened. Alex didn't tell them everything about Harmony Island, only that he had been keeping a low profile and decided to come back when he heard that the real thief had been arrested. He was worried that their friendships would change if he told them who he was. How would he know whether their feelings were genuine or if they were just after his money? Alex knew he would hate that, so he decided to keep his wealth a secret for now. Only after they'd had lunch together did his friends stop asking Alex questions and let him go. Alex noticed that Cathy didn't attend their afternoon class. He was really afraid that Billy might have done something to her. In the evening, Alex wanted to have dinner with Debbie, but she had to stay in the classroom to take supplementary lessons, so Alex left her to it. Just as he was thinking of going out for a meal, Cathy called him. Alex hesitated for a moment, but finally answered her call. Alex! Cathy pretended to be relieved that he'd answered her call, but deep down she was sure that he still had feelings for her. When you saw that it was me calling, you answered the phone so quickly, she thought. What's wrong? Alex asked in a friendly tone. He was afraid that she would do something stupid. Cathy cried softly. I'm fine. I just really want to meet with you. Is that okay? She said in a low and dejected tone. She was trying to get his sympathy. Alex hesitated. Can't I just want to see you? You used to be happy to see me at any time of the day or night. Have your feelings for me changed so much? Cathy asked with a sob. All right, if you don't want to see me, then I have nothing else to say. I guess that the year we spent together meant nothing. She was disappointed, but she didn't end the call. All right, I'll meet with you, Alex said lightly. Great. Meet me right now at the Angel Bar outside the school. She quickly ended the call before Alex could change his mind. Cathy was already in the Angel. She took out her small mirror and admired herself in it. A proud smile appeared on her face. She thought, Alex, I didn't think you would still care so much for me after so long. The moment I called you, you agreed to meet me. You have no pride left at all. However, I don't blame you. You're not blind after all. How could you not want to be with me again? It didn't cross her mind that if Alex was there, he probably would have told her that he only agreed to meet her to get her to stop calling him. As one of the few bars outside of Preston University, the Angel was popular with university students. It was always buzzing. Alex walked into the bar and saw Cathy waving at him from the dimly lit corner seat. Here, she cried out. Alex sat down opposite Cathy, who called the waiter over and said, I want a glass of champagne. Give him a single malt on the rocks. These two drinks came to almost $50, but Cathy thought, why not, since Alex will be paying? The drinks were served quickly. Cathy and Alex were sitting opposite each other at a small table. Cathy took a sip of her wine and quickly said to Alex, I broke up with Billy. Yesterday I found out that he was a thief, and I felt terrible for blaming you for the crime. He's a total thug. I can't be with a criminal, so yesterday when the police confirmed that it was Billy that stole the money, I broke up with him straight away. Didn't you break up this morning? Alex asked with an amused smile as he looked at her. Cathy became emotional. Alex, I couldn't stop thinking about everything last night when I was lying in bed. My mind was all over the place. I realized that I hate Billy. I asked myself what kind of person I want to be with, and I gradually understood the qualities that are important to me. I want someone with integrity, kindness, someone who loves me. I realized that it has nothing to do with whether he has money or not. I began to wonder if I've already met the man who's perfect for me, and I realized that I have. Do you know who my perfect partner is? Who? Alex replied hesitantly. There was a trace of tenderness in Cathy's eyes. She gradually slid her hand toward Alex. That person is you, she whispered.
How will Alex respond to Cathy's confession? What will happen to Cathy now that she's tried to win Alex back?
As Cathy's hand reached across the table, Alex quickly pulled his hand away. Cathy was slightly stunned. This was not at all what she had expected. She looked at Alex and saw him smiling at her. Cathy smiled awkwardly. He's smiling at me. He's pretending not to care that I left him for Billy. But I think he must be still hurting inside. I just need to convince him more. She stared into Alex's eyes and, with a sincere expression, she said, "You might not believe me, but even when I was with Billy, I never stopped loving you. I always felt that we would end up together." Alex couldn't believe what he was hearing. "You must be having a mental breakdown." Alex said, "Then you're saying that you had no choice but to go to the hotel with him?" Cathy's expression froze. It seemed like Alex was still upset about her and Billy. She tried to think quickly. "I know you're still upset that I left you for Billy. Looking back, I know how stupid I was to do that. How could I have gone with such a horrible person?" Alex laughed to himself. I can't believe her audacity. If it was up to you, you'd still be with Billy now. Cathy, oh Cathy, can you ever speak the truth? Cathy looked at Alex quietly. Why isn't he saying anything? Maybe Alex feels he's not good enough for someone as beautiful as me. Maybe even though I've hinted to him that I'm willing to take him back, he still doesn't dare try anything. She was angry. I've tried everything I can think of to make it up to him, but he's still not forgiven me. Or is he too insecure to be attracted to someone as beautiful as me? Whatever the truth was, Cathy could not accept it. Alex, what exactly do you mean? Her expression instantly changed to one of anger. Nothing really. I just wish you would behave with a bit more dignity. I don't believe that you really don't like me anymore. If you promise to treat me well, I'll be yours again. Cathy was so desperate to win him back that she laid all her cards on the table. Alex felt nauseous again. I'm sorry, I already have Debbie. He had not changed his mind. You... Cathy gritted her teeth as she looked at Alex in frustration. She thought, this doesn't even seem to care about me. Her nose was sore, and tears were about to start streaming down her cheeks, but she refused to let him see them. I can't cry in front of him. Alex, how dare you look down on me? I don't really like you that much. Don't think you can just reject me and walk away. Do you think I'm desperate to be with you? Well, I'm not. I just want your money. You'll never be with me now. Cathy wanted to belittle Alex and walk away, but when she thought of his money, she forced herself to swallow her anger. She looked into his eyes and said, Okay, please pretend I didn't say all of that. I know I hurt you when we broke up, but please, can we still be friends? I want to ask you for a favor. Please, will you help me? Tell me what you want. Alex shrugged. He had already guessed that Cathy wanted him to give her $350,000. They'd been together for a while before, so he knew how her mind worked. I broke up with Billy, and he wants me to give him $500,000. If he doesn't get it, he's going to get one of his friends to kill me, so I really need to borrow $500,000 from you. $500,000? Alex sneered in his heart when he heard this. He thought, in the cafeteria, I heard Billy clearly demanding $350,000 from you, but now you're asking for $500,000 from me. Alex had been preparing to give Cathy the money for free, but at this moment, he realized that she was still playing him for a fool. He felt that he was being used. Sorry, I don't have that much I can give you, Alex said lightly. How can you not have that much? Didn't you donate more than $100,000? Cathy asked desperately. All the money's been donated, so there's no more, he responded. You... Seeing the smile on his face, Cathy could not contain herself. Didn't you win a necklace worth $200,000 yesterday? Give it to me to pawn for the money. I promise that my father will return it to you soon. I already gave that necklace to Debbie. It's not mine anymore. How can I take back a gift to my girlfriend? He looked at her with a mocking smile in his eyes. It's your own fault that I'm refusing to lend you the money. Anyway, where is there a law that says I, Alex, must lend you money? Cathy was left speechless by his words. "All right, I wondered why you agreed to meet with me so readily. Now I realize that you didn't come to help me but to make fun of me, right?" She then picked up her bag and left without looking back. Alex watched Cathy leave. There was a hint of sadness in his eyes. He paid the bill and chatted a little while with the waiter, who told him that this bar, the Angel, was up for sale. Alex was surprised because the bar was very popular among the students and was a profitable business. In a low voice, the waiter explained to him, "Didn't you know the bar was previously protected by the Azure Dragon Society? Last month the society was ruined and the bar lost its protection. The owner is really scared that she could have a lot of trouble in the future. The boss is really beautiful and definitely needs the protection. Her only choice is to sell the bar." So that's the reason, Alex thought as he left the bar. "I like this bar. It's such a shame that they're closing because of the Azure Dragon Society," he thought. Then he had an idea. "Why don't I take it over? I'll buy it from the owner, and that'll be some compensation for her." With this thought in mind, Alex walked back to the door of the bar. Just then, a bright red stopped in front of the entrance. A tall and beautiful woman got out of the bar. The doorman immediately ran over to her with an ingratiating smile on his face. The woman threw her car keys at him and walked toward the bar with long strides. She was elegant and had an air of confidence about her. She looked like a model. Alex was taken aback by her beauty. The doorman of the bar greeted the elegant lady. "Lady Carter, welcome." She only nodded slightly in response. "Excuse me, please." The woman wanted to enter the bar, but Alex stood in front of her, blocking her way. Then Alex came to his senses and realized what he was doing. He quickly stepped aside and said, "I'm sorry." With a faint smile, the beautiful lady walked in. Alex watched her walk by and softly murmured to himself, "She's so beautiful." Her face was snow white and her eyes were sparkling, although cold. And Alex's first impression was that she was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. Alex only came back down to earth after the beautiful lady had disappeared into the bar. He recalled her face in his mind and smiled. "Lady Carter? Is this the beautiful woman who owns the bar?" Alex asked to himself. He walked straight over to the doorman at the entrance. He was also watching the woman. Alex cleared his throat and asked him about her. Indeed, as he had expected, the beautiful lady was the owner of the bar. Her name was Vivian Carter. Alex went back inside. He wanted to talk to Vivian about the possibility of buying the bar. He wanted to make sure she didn't sell it to someone else before he had a chance to make an offer. He followed Vivian and ended up in the office area of the bar. "Is anyone here?" Alex called out as he walked into the office. There was no one there, only a conference table and a dozen chairs. He decided that Vivian couldn't have come this way, and he turned to leave. At that moment, he heard a woman's voice calling, "Come in." Alex looked over and saw that there was a door on the far wall of the office. The voice was coming from the other side of that door. Is she calling me? Alex looked around to check that there was no one else in the office and then slowly walked toward the door. He gently opened it and stepped through. The moment he walked through the door, Alex froze. The door led to a bedroom and a sitting room suite with a dressing room at the far end. "Ah!" the lady exclaimed when she saw Alex. "Get out!" Vivian said angrily. "Okay, sorry," Alex answered weakly and left. 5 minutes later, Vivian walked out of the small suite. She stared at Alex and walked slowly toward him. Alex could only smile awkwardly. At this moment, another beautiful lady, the manager of the Angel Bar, June, walked in with a towel in her hand. "Vivian, I found a fresh towel for you." "Who's he?" "He's here to apply for a job as a waiter," Vivian said before Alex could reply. The boy looked to be only 20 years old, so she assumed that was what he was here for, and she was too embarrassed for June to find out what had just happened in the suite. "A waiter? We don't need a waiter here, sorry," June said to Alex with a smile. She and Vivian had recently been discussing the need to sell the bar, so they didn't need to recruit new waiters. "June, don't worry about him." Vivian turned to Alex. Only Alex was able to read the meaning behind her stern gaze as she said, "You're a student, right? From now on, you'll work in our bar. Of course, we'll not take up any of your studying time. You can come over for all of your free time. I'll pay $10 an hour. Do you agree?" Actually, the reason I came was..." Before Alex finished his sentence, Vivian interrupted. "Is $10 an hour not enough for you? Look at the clothes you're wearing. Can't you recognize a good offer when you hear one? I offered you a job as a favor. Don't you know what's good for you?" Alex was stunned. He had assumed that Vivian was a well-mannered lady. He had never expected her to be so unreasonable. Then he thought about how he had offended her just now and realized that she had probably jumped to some conclusions about him too. "It doesn't matter. I'll take the job here. It'll give me the chance to find out all about the Angel Bar, which will be helpful when I buy it." With these thoughts running through his head, Alex agreed. "Okay." Vivian replied, "All right, you can leave now. I'll call you if I need anything. Remember to come here to work whenever you're free from classes." Alex nodded and walked out of the office. "Vivian, our bar is already on the market. Why are you recruiting a new waiter?" June asked, puzzled. Vivian answered, "Didn't you notice his clothes? He was so scruffy. Our bar is only thriving because of the students nearby. We should learn more about them so we can cater to their tastes." She sounded serious, but Vivian was keeping the real reason hidden. She was worried that Alex would tell everyone what had happened and felt that if he was working for her, he wouldn't do that. Alex felt tired as he walked toward the school. He had told Ben and the others that he now had rented a house off campus and wouldn't be staying in the dorm very often. Tonight, though, they had insisted that Alex stayed with them. When he got to the dorm, he found his friends half-dressed, lying in their beds and laughing loudly. When they saw him enter the room, Ben said excitedly, "Alex, you have to see this. Cathy's also doing a live broadcast. We're dying of laughter watching it. If you don't believe me, ask Carl and Joe." Alex looked at Carl and Joe, who were also lying on their beds, and then looked at the screen and laughed. Alex washed up and then laid on the bed. He sent Debbie a goodnight message and opened the live broadcast channel. He asked for Ben and Cathy's live broadcast number and entered the live broadcast room. On the screen, Cathy was speaking passionately. Her hair was a mess, and she was wearing way too much makeup. She was saying, "Everyone, thank you for watching my live broadcast show. If you want to get involved, just send me a message. Let me know what you want, and I promise to fulfill your request. Come on, everyone, send in your bids." Carl said to Alex, "Alex, you won't believe what Cathy did just now. Someone said they wanted to watch Cathy shake her head side to side 50 times. Cathy immediately shook her head like a madwoman. After shaking her head, she was so dizzy she fell off her chair." Alex frowned slightly. Cathy is clearly hoping to use the live broadcast to earn $350,000 that she needs to pay Billy, he thought. He glanced at the screen. The comments appearing on the screen were all mocking and ridiculing Cathy. "Best-looking female broadcaster on the entire web," said another. Cathy ignored the barrage of insults. "All I need to do is make enough money to pay Billy. If I don't, he'll go crazy, and I don't know what his friends will do to me," she thought. She had looked his friends up on the internet and knew that they were capable of just about anything. The sicker, the better. She had already attracted more than 500 fans, but had only earned around $50. If it continued this slowly, she wouldn't be able to get the money she needed. "Hey, didn't Cathy dump you for Billy? Just wait, I'll punish her for you," Ben said to Alex and smiled. "Please don't do anything to her." Alex tried to stop him, but his friend was already engrossed with a live broadcast. "Don't worry," Ben replied casually. Soon his bid appeared on the screen. "Flying fish. Stand on the table and jump 3 times for $20. Alex glanced at Ben with annoyance. He was disappointed in his friend asking a girl to jump on the table. How dangerous is that, he thought. It's just not worth it. However, Cathy accepted the dare. She said to the screen, "Flying fish, I'll do as you request. Please don't forget to give me that reward later." Cathy put down her phone. stepped on a stool and climbed onto the table. She looked at the camera and said,
"Flying fish, I'm going to jump."
once, twice, 3 times. Ah! The 3rd time she jumped up, Cathy stepped on the corner of the table, causing it to shake, and she lost her balance and fell. She cried out in fear as she fell heavily on the ground with a loud crash. Her 2 roommates quickly helped her up. Luckily, she wasn't hurt. Cathy sat hunched on her chair and said to the screen,
"Flying fish, I've done what you told me to do."
"Now you can give me my reward." 20 appeared on the screen as Ben sent the money. Ben snickered and proudly said to Alex, "Bet you feel better now?" Alex suddenly felt angry. He frowned slightly and said to Ben, "Haven't you got anything better to do?" Ben's face stiffened. Thinking about it, he realized that he had overdone it. Alex glanced at Cathy on the screen. She was trying to swallow her pride and continue her live broadcast. He sighed softly and was about to turn it off. At that moment, several words suddenly flashed on the screen of his phone. Time for the duel. The Duel was a new segment released by the broadcasting network that streamed Cathy's show. It involved 2 individuals randomly matched and competing against each other for bids from the audience. The winner would receive a cash reward. The prize money that the winner would receive was shown on the screen. $100,000. That was almost the largest prize anyone had ever heard of. Cathy's eyes lit up when she saw the figure of 100,000. If she could win this amount, she could pay off almost a third of the money that she had given to Billy. This was a great opportunity for her. Then Cathy's opponent appeared.
She was another beautiful student called Edith.
She already had more than 20,000 people in her live broadcast room. Looking at Cathy, her competitor, she smiled. The broadcast had started a few hours ago, and this girl only had 500 supporters in her room.
Edith knew that she had a huge advantage.
She knew that surely the $100,000 prize money was hers for the taking. The duel is starting now. A few words appeared on the screen, followed by a progress bar for each contestant. Both sides were now 0, and the countdown of 10 minutes had begun. 9:59, 9:58. "Hi, lovely Cathy." Edith waved at Cathy. Cathy's screen name was Lovely Cathy. "Hello," Cathy said, trying to sound nonchalant.
She didn't want to be distracted by chatting with Edith right now.
Cathy had already set her heart on the prize of $100,000. Cathy's mind was clear. After being broadcast live for so long, the opponent had far more experience than she did and probably had better tactics. She had only been live broadcasting for a few hours, so she would lose if she didn't do something really special. She said endearingly to the screen, "Guys, if you have any requests, feel free to ask.
You guys in Edith's room,
Why don't you come over to mine?"
In Edith's live broadcast room, some people started to criticize Cathy. Edith had been hosting her live broadcasting show for a long time.
She knew exactly what people liked. Most people like a host who is magnanimous, pretty, polite, and kind, she thought. A host like this attracts the most support. A host like me, an aggressive host like Cathy, who tries to steal her opponent's fans the moment she opens her mouth, and even thinks she can make enough money from her live broadcast to earn a living, won't be popular at all.
Sure enough, Edith's progress bar began to rise.
However, some of the people in her live broadcast channel also went to Cathy's live channel to tell her what they thought of her. Cathy's eyes were fixed on the screen. Oriental red. Take a bucket of water and pour it over your head, sending a banknote. This was equivalent to $100. Wolfman. Finish a bottle of cola in one go. Remember to shake it a few times, sending a magic book, equivalent to $30. Cathy said, "All right, Oriental Red, I'll do it right now. Remember to give me the reward." Cathy took a bucket of water and walked in front of the camera. "Viewers, lovely Cathy's about to pour a bucket of water over her head. Enjoy the show and remember to send in a reward." Her 2 roommates lifted the bucket and poured cold water over her head. Cathy was soaked to the skin, and makeup ran down her face.
A wave of messages streaked across the screen. On the progress bar, Cathy's side had already reached over 14,000, while Edith's side had only 500. Cathy was thrilled to see that her progress bar was so much higher than Edith's. However, even though Edith was losing, she didn't seem to care at all. Previously, she had been determined to win, but after seeing Cathy trying so hard, she seemed to be supporting her. Edith even sent in a message to show that she was paying attention to Cathy's account and supporting her. Lovely Cathy is too good. I've never seen such an incredible competitor before. I need to pay attention to her live streaming and learn from her. Cathy read the message and thought, don't think that I don't know that you're only pretending to be on my side. That 100,000 is mine, so don't even think about taking it away. Cathy continued with her show. Now the challenge I'm really worried about, she said on screen. Wolfman, I'm gonna drink the cola in one go now, and don't worry, I'll remember to give it a shake. She took a 20 fluid ounce bottle of cola from her roommate, shook it vigorously as he requested, and opened it with a smile. She drank all the contents in one go. As the liquid rushed into her mouth, some went down her windpipe, causing her to cough and splutter. She swallowed the drink down bit by bit. Cathy had managed to drink the bottle of cola in one go, but she didn't let herself think about feeling humiliated at all. She only allowed herself to think about the money. As long as she could get the money, she was willing to do anything. After drinking the cola, Cathy continued to satisfy all the weird requests that other viewers had made. With only 2 minutes to go, Cathy seemed to be winning by a mile. Her total was already at 27,000, while Edith's was only at 2,000. At this moment, Edith, who had been quietly watching Cathy's humiliating performance, murmured, "The competition is just about to begin." She turned to the screen and said, "Viewers, let me give everyone a song called Cold. Those who enjoy it, please remember to send me a gift to show your appreciation." Edith turned on the accompaniment to the song. She turned it up loud and started to sing. The night is getting cooler, flowers turn to frost on the ground. You are watching from a distance, all twilight is exhausted. Forget yourself without thinking. Edith knew people enjoyed her singing. She had used this trick before on her live broadcast. Cathy heard Edith singing and thought to herself, she must be getting desperate. She must have seen that I'm miles ahead of her. Does she think singing that sad song is going to help her? People want to watch a show that's lively and gives them something to laugh at, Cathy said on screen. Viewers, all of you out there, there are only 2 more minutes before I win. Cathy held up a basin full of water. I'll pour another basin of water over myself if you all send in more gifts. The basin of water was poured over by her friends. Edith wasn't affected in the slightest. She continued to sing leisurely as she slowly danced. The effect was intoxicating. Stunning, said one message. You're from another world, another agreed. Edith was still singing. The heart of the sea, he could no longer feel the pain, but it was all an illusion. At that moment, the voice singing in the men's parts changed. It sounded like it was being sung by a real man. Everyone in the live broadcast room was stunned. Edith, who continued singing, glanced at the screen of her phone. She was waiting for something. Cathy watched her and thought, okay, you're talented, but it's too late. She poured another bucket of water over herself. However, everyone noticed that the number of rewards being gifted to Edith was shooting up. Cathy watched helplessly as Edith's progress bar soared, catching up to hers, and then overtaking it. Cathy was getting desperate. She said to the screen, Viewers, we haven't got much time and we're losing. I swear you can have whatever you ask for now. Quickly, get bidding. Messages from Edith's fans started appearing on the screen of the live broadcast room. You still think you can compete with us? Now you're so far behind? You think too much of yourself. A barrage of support messages for Edith appeared on the screen. Edith, who was still singing, noticed the messages on the screen and was thrilled. At first, she had held off, wanting to see how strong her opponent was. If the competition was too strong, then Edith had planned to let her fans keep their presents until the next competition, when she knew that she could win the duel. That way her profits would be maximized. When she saw that Cathy was no match for her, she immediately sent a signal to her fans. "Start sending in your gifts so we can win the $100,000 prize money." Glancing at Cathy, who was jumping and screaming, Edith laughed happily. She started singing even more enthusiastically. "You can't beat me, Cathy. The prize is mine," she thought. The time was down to the last 30 seconds. By now, Edith's progress bar was 3 times Cathy's. Edith's supporters were sure that she would win and started to relax. "A cool night for you across the sea. Turn into spring blossoms to protect me. Shallow years caressed your lover's sleeve. Pieces of crystal flow into the water." As Edith sang, she looked and saw that Cathy was close to tears. Cathy had been tormented almost beyond her endurance, and she looked like a complete mess. But she had received such a small reward in return. Edith had so easily turned the situation around with just a few words. Cathy felt her anger building as she listened to Edith's song. The seconds counted down. 10, 9, 8. Edith was continuing to sing beautifully and her fans were already celebrating. Cathy stood there looking like a... Her whole body was drenched and she shivered and clenched her fists tightly. 5, 4, 3. Cathy squeezed her eyes in pain as a line of tears rolled down her face. Then, in the last few seconds, some messages appeared on a live broadcast screen. Adam Childs gifted 10 space-time battleships and 5,000 Tiger Teeth coins. This was equivalent to $2,500. A row of space-time battleship gifts appeared on the screen. Cathy's progress bar had almost caught up with Edith's. An admirer gifted you 10 warship space-time battleships. The viewer made his move again. After giving another 10 gifts, Cathy's progress bar had overtaken Edith's. 1, 0. The duel time was over. Before anyone could react, the timer ran out, and the winner was Cathy. Edith abruptly stopped singing. Her vision was blurred as she checked her progress bar. It had far surpassed Cathy's only 3 seconds ago. So how could her lead have disappeared so quickly? What's wrong? Is there a problem with the system? She moved closer to the camera and looked at it in disbelief. My $100,000, she thought. She had been lying when she said she didn't care. She checked the screen again. Right at the end, someone had given money to Cathy, causing her to win. Just 3 seconds earlier, Edith had been winning and the $100,000 would have been hers. She had asked her fans to hold back for a while so that she could win a larger amount of money right at the end. And now she had lost. "What are you trying to do, Adam?" she asked. "You think you're amazing just because you have a few dollars? You should have stepped in earlier." Edith continued to scold him, but her live stream had disappeared. Cathy still hadn't recovered from the shock when her roommates came over. She pointed at the screen and mumbled, I won! The $100,000 is mine!" When her roommates saw the screen, they realized it was true. Edith greeted the live broadcast camera. "Hey, Adam, why didn't you come to my live broadcast room? Why did you help Cathy instead?" Edith was extremely jealous of Cathy, who was getting all the attention as well as $100,000. If everyone watched Cathy's live broadcast, wouldn't she get all the money? "Cathy, hurry up and thank Adam," Edith reminded her. "He gave you $100,000. "Adam, thank you," Cathy said. "I really don't know what to say, but I'd like to meet you. You must be a wonderful person, and I'd like nothing more than to see you. I really want to hug you and kiss you. Of course, I know I'm not good enough for you." Cathy's mind was a mess and she was babbling. "I want to see you too and kiss you," Edith said, unwilling to be outdone. Cathy was such a schemer, but Edith wasn't about to step aside. A message popped up on the screen announcing, "Adam has left the live broadcast room." Alex looked at the phone in a daze. When he had seen Cathy's pitiful look, he hadn't been able to resist helping her. He saw the gesture as a tribute to the years they had spent together. He was just about to power off his cell phone and go to sleep when he received a message from the live stream account. It was Cathy.
Adam, thank you so much. I was so worried. If not for you, I would have been humiliated. I didn't do very well in the live broadcast.
Alex knew that Cathy was only fawning over him because he was rich, so he lost interest and simply replied with, Cathy was overjoyed to see that Adam had answered her. She stole a glance at Edith, who was still broadcasting live, afraid that she would see what Cathy was doing. She messaged Adam back,
Oh, and I wanted to tell you that my good friend Graham Sterling invited you to a banquet at the Plaza Hotel the other day, but you didn't attend.
Cathy had managed to calm down,
and now that she remembered what had happened the previous day, she wanted to use this chance to meet Adam and to punish Alex.
Yeah, why? Came the answer.
Well, someone attended the banquet pretending to be you, and they took a diamond necklace worth over $200,000. I know who did it, and I can tell you his identity, Cathy sent, grinning.
Alex smiled wryly. Forget it, he responded. $200,000 is not a large amount of money for me. If he wants it that badly, then he can have it.
Cathy still wanted to use Adam to have Alex arrested, but Adam didn't seem to care at all. She was slightly disappointed, but also pleasantly surprised. If Adam didn't even care about the $200,000, then he must be seriously rich. Adam, what do you think of me?
Cathy hesitated for a long time before she decided to send the message. She was a rich girl, and she already had plenty of men wanting to be with her.
But how could she give up such a good opportunity when it was right in front of her?
You look a lot like my ex-girlfriend, Alex sent back.
A former girlfriend? Cathy thought. That's great. Everyone still has some feelings for their ex-girlfriends, right?
What was your ex-girlfriend like? She asked with anticipation. She's very pretty, Alex answered. But she thinks she's poor and desperately wants to get rich. And she also had other men behind my back.
Oh, no wonder you left her. She doesn't know how to treat a man as loyal as you. That's such a shame. But don't worry, that kind of trap sticks around for long, and she'll end up all alone in the future. What man would want to be with someone like that? Cathy sent the message, shaking her head in disbelief.
Don't say any more, came the answer. Cathy typed quickly.
Why not? Don't tell me you're still thinking about her. She's not worth it. I might look like her, but I promise you, I'm different. I'm quiet, and I like to read books. I had a boyfriend, and we were together for more than 4 years before he changed his mind and decided he wanted. Of course, I never let him touch me, and now I'm single and waiting for the right person. Looking at the words on the screen, Alex's smile became more bitter as he grew angry.
Okay, I'm tired, so I'm going to sleep, he sent.
Oh, of course, Adam, get some sleep. I won't disturb you any longer. Good night, Cathy replied.
Alex threw his phone aside, curled into a ball, and closed his eyes. The next day, Alex and Debbie ate breakfast in the cafeteria. When they were finished, Debbie picked up her books and went to the library to study. Alex walked from the cafeteria to the classrooms.
Alex!
A sharp cry sounded from the tree-lined path. Alex looked and saw Cathy carrying a large black plastic bag. She struggled over with the bag and stopped in front of him.
Are you happy now?
She asked. Happy? Alex shrugged in confusion.
I invited you to the bar the other day, she said, and you thought that I regretted leaving you, didn't you? That I asked you because I wanted you back, right? Cathy sneered.
Alex smiled and turned to leave.
You want to run away just because I guessed the truth? Cathy asked, stepping in front of him. Is that really what you thought? That I might actually take you back? Well, I was just trying to trick you into giving some money to that idiot Billy. I really thought that you would fall for it. You never guessed, did you?
Alex looked at her with a grin, as if he was looking at a crazy woman.
What the hell are you laughing at? Cathy yelled as she punched him. You're just like Billy. You're not good enough for me. I made a great decision to get rid of both of you. Besides, I'm better off alone.
Cathy's smile grew wider. You must be wondering why I admitted that. She shook her head and laughed. Well, I'll tell you. I found a friend from a wealthy family, and he is much richer than Billy. Yesterday, before I'd even spoken to him, he had already given me $100,000. Alex couldn't help but laugh. You think I'm lying? She scowled at him. You don't believe me? Do you want to know who he is? Who is it? Alex asked, playing along. Cathy smiled smugly and said, Adam Childs. Ha, you're scared, aren't you? She taunted him. I know Adam Childs, the man you impersonated the other day, and I've already contacted him. Rest assured, I will definitely get him to pursue the matter of you impersonating him at Mr. Sterling's banquet, and also the missing $200,000 necklace. I'll have you arrested. Alex no longer wanted to look at Cathy's arrogant face. Feeling nauseated, he pushed her and continued toward the classroom. Alex, I must tell Adam about your ugly face. You don't look very happy. You're in for it now. Just wait until you get arrested. Cathy pointed at Alex's back and cursed like a shrew. Alex went into the classroom. Thankfully, Cathy didn't take this class. He was so annoyed that he didn't want to be with her either. He held his head and let his thoughts run wild. Before he knew it, the class had ended. He followed the stream of people leaving the building. His phone rang and he saw that it was the manager of the Autumn Beauty Boutique, Russell. Sir, can you come in? Russell asked anxiously. There's a customer causing trouble and being really disruptive. Even the security guards in the mall haven't been able to do anything about it. Alex frowned. He asked Russell to hold on a while longer, and then he rushed over. Inside the boutique, a young woman was arguing intensely with Russell and several other staff members. A group of customers and the mall's security guards had gathered around to watch. I bought these clothes here, so why won't you take them back? The woman asked aggressively as she held up the clothes. Miss, you bought those clothes over a month ago. How can we take them back now? Russell didn't know how many times he had repeated this, but she refused to back down. I only wore some of those clothes once or twice, she said sharply, and some of the others I never wore at all. So why can't you just give me a refund instead of trying to bully me? I'm sorry, Russell said, but if we took them back, we wouldn't be able to sell them in our stores. We can't give you a refund. There's no way we can do it. What kind of attitude is that? She demanded. If there is a problem, then you need to fix it. You can't just avoid it and refuse to take responsibility. I'm not just going to go away quietly. Russell hadn't given her a refund, and she was really unhappy. If you don't refund the money right now, then I'm not leaving, she announced. Boutique like this can't simply ignore the rights of their customers. My time isn't worth much, but if you have to close for a day, you'll lose tens of thousands of dollars, won't you? The woman's behavior was beginning to annoy the crowd, and they started accusing her of being rude and unreasonable. Call the police, someone suggested. Why bother arguing with someone like that? Miss, please leave now, or I'll call the police. Russell took out his phone and gave the young woman a serious look. Getting even angrier when Russell threatened to call the police, she pulled out a piece of clothing out of the bag, took a lighter, and set fire to the clothes, tossing them out of the door. When everyone saw this, they rushed to stamp on the clothes to put out the flames. What's wrong with you? Russell demanded angrily. There are a lot of people here, he said, and someone could have been hurt. Having had enough, he called 911. The young woman didn't seem to be at all concerned. The police station was nearby, so an officer arrived quickly and started to question the woman about burning the clothes. I bought these clothes so they belong to me, and I'm burning them a yard away from their door, the woman said confidently. Is there a problem? Can I not burn my own clothes? The other customers were angry and began to tell the police officer how outrageous the woman's behavior was. But he told them that it wasn't against the law for someone to burn their clothes, so he couldn't arrest her. I think it might be better if you just gave her the refund, the police officer advised in a low voice. She's probably crazy, so spend the money and buy yourself some peace. Russell was annoyed at the officer's lack of help. She wants all the money we have here, he said. She's already worn the clothes for a month, and the tags have been removed. How can we possibly give her a refund? Besides, this isn't my shop. I'm just a manager and I don't have the authority to make that decision. The policeman and Russell looked at the young woman with concern. The woman, on the other hand, was determined not to give up. She looked at Russell's worried expression and knew she was going to win this argument. "Excuse me, let me through." Alex walked through the crowd. The young woman glanced at Alex and her heart skipped a beat. She quickly turned around and covered her face with her hands, afraid that Alex would recognize her. "Sir, you're finally here. This is the customer who's causing trouble," Russell said, rushing over to Alex. Alex frowned and looked at the woman. His eyebrows shot up in surprise and he exclaimed, "Cathy!" The unreasonable customer was none other than his ex-girlfriend, Cathy. Cathy slowly turned around. She looked at Alex in surprise, and then looked at Russell and stuttered, "He's your boss?" "Yes, he's our boss," Russell confirmed. She stared at Alex in disbelief. Her mind was spinning, and she couldn't understand what was going on. "You're the boss here?" she muttered, completely stunned. Alex nodded, and she felt that her world had been flipped upside down. "Hello," the police officer said, coming forward. "I think you should simply give her some money, just for the sake of getting some peace and quiet." The onlookers were against the idea. Giving money to someone like Cathy would only make her even more arrogant, and then she would try this again. Alex glanced at Cathy, who stood there watching him. He then looked at Russell and said, "Check how much these clothes cost and refund her the full amount." Russell was stunned, as was the crowd. But Alex was the boss, so he had to do what he was told. "Okay, I'll do it now." He picked up Cathy's plastic bag, walked to the counter, and started checking prices. When he had finished, he walked over to Alex with a stack of money in his hand. It came to $20,000. "Sir, are you sure you want to refund that much?" Alex didn't answer. He merely took the money from Russell, walked over to Cathy, and handed it to her. She looked at the money and then at Alex. She knew Alex didn't genuinely want to refund the money. She grabbed the money and threw it at Alex's face. "You're just trying to humiliate me, aren't you? Well, I'm not going to let you." Cathy seemed to have gone mad. The money lay scattered all over the floor. Russell wanted to argue, but Alex held up a hand and stopped him. She stared at Alex with pure hatred. "Stop pretending to be a good person," Cathy said. "You aren't. I don't need someone like you to pity me." With that, she pushed her way through the crowd and ran off. The police officer left and the onlookers gradually dispersed. "Sir, you're too generous. You shouldn't be so forgiving towards someone like that," Russell said. "She's my ex-girlfriend," Alex said lightly. "Oh." Russell was stunned, now understanding what Alex was trying to do. "I'm sorry, boss, I overstepped." "That's okay. I have nothing to do with her now," Alex said, smiling. "And I have a new girlfriend, the one I brought last time I came in. Well, I'm going back to school now, so you can just call me if you need anything." Alex walked out of the boutique and returned to the university to meet Debbie for lunch. Meanwhile, Cathy returned to school in a taxi. When she thought of those $20,000, she began to regret her actions and wished she had taken them. But she knew that, even if she was given a chance to do it all again, she would still throw the money at Alex's face. She could swallow her pride for money, but not in front of him. She wouldn't let him win. She walked silently along the tree-lined road. Her mind was filled with questions about Alex. She hadn't expected him to be the boss of the boutique. Why didn't I know that before? She wondered. Where did this shop come from? Out of thin air? But one thing was undeniable. Alex was now a rich man. Cathy was extremely upset. If she had known he was rich, then obviously she wouldn't have been stupid enough to break up with him. If they had not broken up, then Cathy would also be the boss of the boutique. When she thought about the missed opportunity, she felt sick to her stomach. Looking around, she realized that she had reached the small square in front of the library. "Hey, look at this," a girl said. "One of the seniors is having a photographic exhibition." He took photos of various touching moments he saw on campus during his 4 years of study. She pulled Cathy over to the wall of photos. Cathy walked forward and then ground to a halt with her eyes fixed on one of the photos, her lips trembling slightly. In the photo, a boy and a girl were walking side by side. The boy's clothes were old, and there was even a hole in one knee of his pants. Although the girl's clothes weren't very expensive, they were in much better condition than the boy's. The photo was of Cathy and Alex. She lowered her head and closed her eyes. The scene in the photo vividly replayed in her mind. "Alex, if you became really rich one day, would you leave me?" she had asked. "Definitely not," he had answered. "I would give you all my bank cards, and you could help me manage my money." Cathy had smiled at him. "Really? You mean that?" His expression had turned serious. "Of course. You're the most important person in my life, and I'd do anything to make you happy." Cathy had been so proud. "You're so sweet, but if you want to become rich in this lifetime, you'll have to hurry up. Come on, let's go get some pancakes." She still vividly remembered what Alex had said back then. Who would have thought that when Alex became rich, they would no longer be together? She burst into tears. Looking at the picture, she pulled it down and tore it to pieces. Then she threw the pieces on the ground and ran away.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.